Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. If you've been following this journey, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe so that you do not miss future videos. Also, please click the like button to help grow this channel and get the word out on dividend growth investing. Getting paid just for owning stocks. This is what dividend growth investing is all about. My main objective is to show a replicable way of building an ever-growing and reliable income stream, one that does not rely on the volatility of the stock market. You simply own the shares of successful companies and you're automatically paid. In this video, I'm going to show you the dividends that I received for this month, which is January 2024. And just to let you know, I'm a buy and hold investor and I buy more shares every week. The reason I create these videos is to show you what kind of dividends you could expect from a portfolio this size, as well as how these dividends grow over time. What we're looking at right now is my taxable M1 stock brokerage account, and this is about 15% of my net worth. Most of my net worth is wrapped up into ETFs like VTI and VU, but this portfolio has a lot of individual positions and also SCHD and BST. So right now the balance of this portfolio is at just over $230,000, and we can see the value over the last year. It's been under the $200,000 mark, and it was under $200,000 in late October. That was probably the bottom of the market, and you can see we've just been on a tear lately, and we are at all-time stock market highs now, just barely. So what I'll do is I'm going to jump into the activity log here. We're going to take a look at the actual dividends rather than just read them off from a spreadsheet or just show you a spreadsheet. We're going to jump in here and look at the actual dividends. I'm just going to read them off one by one as proof. We can see the first one on January 2nd was Allstate for $5.50. Then on the second also Best Buy $7.70. Then ADP $3.73. And then on the third, Kimberly-Clark. Oh, wrong way. There we go. And it looks like for Kimberly-Clark and HP, they double paid me, and then there was a deduction, so they credited that back. So HP on the third, $5.96, and of course I read the Kimberly-Clark, there was the double there, and they took it back. And same with HP. And then Pepsi, $13.08, Merck, $8.72 on the 8th, and then the 11th, Illinois Toolworks, $7.39. Oh, Realty, this is a monthly payer, $11.86. Costco paid me $35.69. This was a special dividend. Costco does this every couple years, and for January they paid $15 per share. So you can see I own just over 2 shares of Costco. And then on the 12th also Medtronic, $5.39. And then Fifth Third Bank, $16.86. Digital Realty in the 19th paid me $7.91. Cisco, $10.46. Oracle, $4.91. BST, this is a monthly payer and it pays me a lot, $450.03. And then JP Morgan was the last dividend for January at $4.89. You can see I also received some other dividends, and I actually reinvested those back into Verizon, General Mills, and American Tower, and I'll show you that update and what that did to my dividend income in just a moment. We're going to jump over to a tracking sheet over here, and this lists all the positions that are in my dividend portfolio. Medtronic is highlighted in yellow because I sold this position, but I did receive my last dividend from them. You can see it shows the company, ticker symbol, share price. This just uses a simple Google Finance function to pull that price. The number of shares are pulled from the M1 data tab. And then there's the market value with that simple math. There's my cost basis also pulled up from the M1 data tab. You can see it does a VLOOKUP to pull out that information. So when I do stock buys, I don't have to actually change the shares and type it in manually. Same with the cost basis. It's just going to be a simple copy and paste from M1. I'll show you how that works in a moment. We can see my gain or loss, which for each position. Avista, I'm down just a little bit on that one. The energy sector has kind of struggled lately, so that's really no surprise. You can see the percent gain or loss for each position. I've more than doubled my money with Broadcom, more than tripled it with Nvidia. And here's the dividends paid per share. And SCHD here is highlighted in purple because it's variable. It changes every quarter. But for like a McDonald's, it's the same until they actually do a dividend raise. And McDonald's historically has raised their dividend. They announced it in October, and their last dividend raise was 10%. And if a stock lowers their dividend, I have a rule, I will just cut them right out of my portfolio. The exception is SCHD because they historically pay a lower dividend in the first quarter, and then they steadily increase it, and the fourth quarter historically has had the highest payout. So March, I'm expecting a lower dividend. I'm expecting, instead of the 74 cents, probably in the mid 60s, maybe high 60s if I'm lucky with SCHD, but we will see. You can see this is the current yield percentage and yield on cost. You can see the yields are all over the place for things in my portfolio. You can see like Nvidia pays hardly anything for a yield, but it's been a grower. You can see what my cost basis is, and if I were to sell it, what I would get for it. But an investment like a Vista, it's more of it pays more. You can see over 5% if you were to buy more shares, and this is the yield on my cost, which is lower. So if I would have waited and bought it at the low point, I would have been better off. But it's really hard to time these things. So you can see the actual, here's the pay date. This is how I have the sheet arranged by. It's in order of that. And we're in January. I'm going to select all the dividends I received. These are all the dividends I read off from M1. We can see the sum right here is $611.08. That's what I received. You can see I also put in the total dividends received as well for each position. You take a look at BST. I've received almost $5,000 in dividends alone from that investment. If we look at ADP, there's a disconnect. This is the dividends I received, but since I reinvested those dividends, you can see the next time, if they don't increase a dividend increase for the stock, you can see I'm going to receive $3.75, so 2 cents more. It's very modest, but I also didn't invest a whole lot back because that's just a dividend drip right back into those positions, and you can see how I'm just going to receive more and more money for each of these. The exception is Costco because this was a special dividend, but I reinvested that back into Costco. So when they resume their normal dividend, I'm going to receive the $2.48. And of course, Medtronic, since I sold it, it's going to no longer be in the portfolio. But you can see here, all these are going to be paying me more, and this is also going to go up after I update this sheet, which I'm going to do here in just a moment after I kind of walk you through the rest of the sheet. You can see the color key. We're in January, so we're in the light greens. So next month we'll be in February in the medium greens. You can see the total market value of the portfolio, my cost basis, my gain or loss in the portfolio. This is the average yield percentage. This is the average yield on my cost. The portfolio here is what this portfolio pays each quarter. I have 2 monthly pairs, so I have to add those in twice. That's what that math is right there. You can see I've broken down The cash flow by monthly, quarterly, and annual. Portfolio is paying me over $11,000 per year. You can see this is my strategy. Here's my goals for 2024. You can see here I'm tracking the SCHD dividend here. The last is a 74 cents. So I'm estimating probably somewhere in the mid 60s. We'll see. Because you can see last year 74 cents in December. And last March it was just under 60 cents. And that was the growth from 2022 to 2023 for SCHD. And I've been tracking the high water mark of some of my ETFs with VTI. We're just above the all-time high. We're at 245.18 per share. SCHD still has to recover from its all-time high of $82.48. So next I'm going to update this sheet, and it's actually going to update the monthly cash flow average. And it's going to show these dividends being reinvested. So these amounts are going to go up, and especially Verizon, because the dividend reinvestment is going to actually buy more than one share of Verizon. So I'm jumping back to M1. I'm going to go to the holdings tab here really quick. Once it loads up, and I'm just going to grab everything starting from name. You can see I have 58 positions in this portfolio, and it's arranged from the highest value, which is SCHD. We'll see what the lowest is. I'll grab all this data. I'm just going to paste this into the Google Docs spreadsheet. So Pinnacle West is the smallest position in the portfolio. And we'll go here into the M1 data tab. And what it's going to do on the first tab is it's going to do VLOOKUPs to pull the information. You can see SCHD is here. And all I'm doing is I'm aligning the number of shares of the cost basis. You probably saw down here the number of shares for BST changed. It was at 1800 and it jumped to 1812 after pulling this data over here. But what it's going to do is it's going to change over here what the new income is. It was at 917 before for the monthly cash flow average. We've gone up to 920.76. I'm going to update this event. So let's see if I type this out. I'm not sure if I updated it. But anytime there's a dividend increase, I do a drip, I do a deposit, anything like that, I track it onto here. I did. So the BST and JP Morgan dividend drip. So we started at a monthly cash flow average of 917.31. And we're at 920.76. And we'll see what the change was. So by just doing a dividend drip of BST and JP Morgan, it increased my monthly income $3.45 going forward. And we'll go back to the dividend portfolio tab and just show you what it did to those two. You can see 450.03 is what I received for the last BST dividend payment, but by dripping the dividends in, I'll receive 453.17 if I don't buy any more BST. So the end of February, that's what my dividend will be for BST. And you can see a very modest, looks like 3 cents is going to add next time JP Morgan pays in April. So let's go ahead and look at these other tabs here. This is my dividend tracker tab. And I started doing these videos in January 2021. The portfolio value was $18,700. And I was just modestly putting in maybe $100 every week, kind of like what I'm doing right now. And you can see not very much. And it looks like I had a little bit bigger month in March 2021. You can see it's just modestly gone up. You can see the dividends paid each month. I'm tracking the quarterly, quarter-on-quarter increase, as well as annual dividends. You can see 2021, I didn't even receive $1,000 in 2021. At the end of 2022, just under $3,000. You can see here I really grew the portfolio here with a big chunk of money that was put in. This was from equity in a home that I no longer own. I put it to work and I deposited $10,000 per week for these months. You can see it really kick-started this portfolio. You can see the dividends paid. And here is the month of January, again, 6/11/08. And you can see the largest payments are in the third month of each quarter, and those are March, June, and September and December. So next March will be my big dividend payment again. So February is going to be pretty similar to January, hopefully more, but we'll see. You can see how my average monthly dividend has climbed. We're up to the $920.76. So just with the dividend drip of BST, JP Morgan, it increased my monthly income by $345 every month going forward, month over month increase. You can see my annual dividend at over $11,000, and then annual increase. It looks like, yeah, I have not done a buy. So on Monday, I'll actually do a buy. I'll deposit $100, and what I've been doing lately is I've been picking 5 stocks and putting $20 in each. So subscribe so that you see that video. So you'll see that tomorrow. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys was the total dividends I received. Again, it was $611.08. And you got to see also the dividend drip I did with BST and JP Morgan. Thanks for sticking to the end. If you got value from this video, please click the like button. Also subscribe so that you do not miss future videos. Everyone, have a great weekend, and everybody take care.